Pilots for Patients is a nonprofit. We started 13 years ago, and it was set up because there was a real need in the community helping people going for diagnosis and treatment that can't be found here locally. It's a little more specialized. So we felt there was a need, so we decided to come together and form a group, and we called it Pilots for Patients because truly that's what it is, pilots helping patients. I'm a pilot also, and actually what we do is we pick up patients after we have their medical papers signed, and there's a real medical need as long as they're ambulatory and medically stable. So then we actually fly them to their distant destinations for diagnosis or treatment. So like I said, mainly the patients themselves have to physically walk on and off the aircraft. So we don't do critical care, not like air ambulance or anything, but we ease the burden for them going back and forth for their treatment. Sometimes once or twice a week to Houston, even from Monroe, it's a real burden on the people, and we are there to step in and help them on their journey. Tonight is a fundraiser for Pilots for Patients. Like I said, we've been 13 years in the making. We're continuing to grow. We're almost on a benchmark of 6,000 missions that we've flown. That's and also that's over 102 times around the equator in mileage as far as goes. We've given back almost $5 million in in-kind services, helping people reach their destinations, whether it's MD Anderson in Houston, Texas Children's, Arkansas Children, St. Jude, UAB Birmingham, Baylor in Dallas. We can also link up to 1,000 miles with other groups like us in the nation, up to 1,000 nautical miles. So, Jerry, we're actually flying patients all the way to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, or the one in Jacksonville, or specialized treatments facilities in Columbus, Ohio. So it's a real opportunity to help our friends and neighbors, and we're all friends and neighbors in the state, just separated by a little distance, and the aircraft is the common denominator that takes distance out of the equation, making the patients at ease to go where they need to go for their specialized treatment.
Vantage Health Plan, obviously we covered through our health insurance program cancer, but many times people need to travel far off and they don't have the transportation or the means of transportation to get there. When people have cancer, there's so much anxiety that's going on in their life and with their family. But the Pilots for Patients that are able to take people there at no charge and to somewhere like MD Anderson where they get the best health care in the world is a very relieving moment for them. And it's just such a great organization that helps pay for that cost to help get them to a facility like an MD Anderson. Well, their mission is all over the state of Louisiana. In Vantage, obviously, we're in the state of Louisiana. We also market in Arkansas and Mississippi. So we're all over Louisiana. Pilots for Patients is all over Louisiana. They're also transporting people from other locations. So it's a great fit. Everywhere Pilots for Patients at, Vantage Health Plan's right there too.
My heart is so full. I think that it takes a very gracious and kind and generous and selfless person to do what these people do. Their mission is absolutely incredible, and as somebody who aspires to go into the medical field, I think that this is very critical and very admirable.
Vantage has always been a big supporter of Pilots for Patients, and anything that they do, they're such an asset to our region. The healthcare, transportation, and all those things that they do is so critical. And I think about the families that it impacts. It's such a big deal, and we're so glad to support it.
I'm a frequent flyer with this organization. My husband and I have taken 14 missions with Pilots for Patients through my husband's cancer journey, and they have been a lifeline for my family. And we are so thankful, and with Pilots for Patients' help, my husband has beat cancer and is cancer-free, and I owe a lot of our sanity and our family time to Pilots for Patients.
I had one young man who, the first flight, he said that he had been diagnosed with stage 4, and they told him he had 2 years ago, they told him he had 6 months to live, and here he was still going with me. He was quite interesting in that I flew him up to Dallas probably 8 or 9 times, and his mother flew with us one time, and she talked about how nice it was, the Pilots for Patients, that when he goes and drives, he was very tired. When Pilots for Patients come along and help, he had 2 more days with his children, and that was kind of an interesting concept, and so you feel like you're doing something worthwhile when you're flying.
All are memorable. I'll tell you, everybody has a story, and when you're dealing with this particular patient, usually a cancer type patient, it's a heartfelt story that they have, and this is about survival for that patient and their family. So again, I am so honored just to be considered a part of this family.
Some of the ones that stand out are the little babies. We've had a baby as young as like 3 months, and then we've had patients as old as 90, and so it's just run the gamut. One particular person that kind of stands out for me is a woman who had some cancer. She's probably had more than 25 flights on with pilots for patients. And so it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 25 or however many, we're here for the patients.
It has been amazing, and I have personally had my mother taken to MD Anderson. I have had her taken to a place where she had a heart condition called AFib, where she had a doctor in Austin, Texas, look at her and treat her. So it's a personal thing for me. Then I have several friends whose husbands, fathers, wives have all been taken to medical facilities in the South.
Oh, look, this is one of the best nonprofits in the area. I mean, the service they provide, not just here locally, but across the state, to people that need care. Free airfare or free flights to various cancer treatments. I think it's a great thing, and I'm proud to support it.
I'm excited about having Prop Blessed on a yearly basis. This annual fundraiser is really to raise money so that we can go and recruit pilots around the state. Most people think, what do you spend your money on? But we need to go and get the attention of pilots, and we don't need them to necessarily fly one flight a week. We need them to just commit to one a month or one a quarter. So really, I'm excited about raising money so that we can get the attention of pilots around the state of Louisiana to fly these critically ill patients.
Oh, it's going to be a great turnout. You know, we're here to raise funds to help us grow. Really, the money is used for patient outreach and pilot recruitment. We're always looking for new pilots. We have about 140 pilots right now scattered throughout the state of Louisiana, and about 50 in the Houston Metroplex, since 74% of the flights are going to Houston. So we're needing the money to go out and actually market and help patients, let them be more aware of what we're doing in the state that aren't aware, and we're always looking for good pilots in their community to be a hero in their own community. So let them step up to the plate. Working with us, we help them, and we help them move their patients and friends in their community. So it's kind of what we're all about.
I think that it's very important because the Miss Louisiana organization seeks to prepare great women for the world and prepare the world for great women through the 4 points of the crown, which include scholarship, service, style, and success. And service is a really big one and very near and dear to my heart. So I love coming to events like this and helping out in any way that I can.
But we've got a great crowd. Looks like we got some people here ready to spend some money and raise some money for a very good cause.
How can people get more information?
Okay, we can go to the website, www.pilotsforpatients.org, or check us out on Facebook. As you can see, we're flying 15 to 30 missions a week. And so each one has a little story. You get to see the pictures of the patients, and there's lots of great stories. You know, unfortunately, there are some not so good results, but at least we're giving them the opportunity to go and get the treatment they need that they can't get locally.